host.
That's your cue.
With the most.
Welcome back to our newest podcast video. I'd like to say today's topic will be school teachers and how retarded they are or how funny they are. Riker would like to take it away.
It's no small talk.
All right.
Any small talk or?
I got
Small.
no. Go. Shoot.
Well,
Okay.
gotta say,
Talking to my dog.
I got some weird teachers over there. One of them did something very interesting. And that very interesting thing was she made me so stressed out as a third grader, I got constipation. I'm being dead serious, this is not a joke.
That's funny.
She made me so stressed out, I got constipation. It was awful. And then the funny thing was, I unironically with my mom at 3 a.m. decided to eat, like, I don't know, the weirdest combination of food imaginable, like part laxatives, part granola bar / watching Max Steel live action.
Interesting.
I've been constipated before. It sucks.
It really does. Feels like your butthole is absolutely being teared up.
You know, wait, Con, do you know what Miralax is?
I don't know, but it sounds like a laxative.
It's like the world's, not the world's strongest, like, it's a really strong laxative, okay? And I took a little bit, the recommended amount, and we didn't think it worked because it didn't work right away. So I took like almost a whole cup of that stuff, and I was pooping all day.
That is horrible. I constipated for 2 days straight. So
How's
I
that
got
taste, Striker?
I'm not gonna lie, being constipated sucks. It really does. But back to her name was, God, what was it? Miss Schaefer, bro. Bro was a literal shape.
You calling her fat?
Man,
No, she was more of a trapezoid.
bro was big body, big
She
man.
was an octagon.
No, don't ruin the good name of octagons.
Who's the big? Oh,
Not gonna lie, bro looking like an absolute
Okay.
mongrel.
Riker?
yeah.
Oh, what?
What?
Well,
Crap.
speaking of which, science teachers, it's just mere like science teachers, just funnier than like any other kind of teacher.
Yeah, like
Um,
Mrs.
No.
7th grade science teacher.
I feel like
Mr.
math,
7th grade science teacher.
math and science teachers are literally just built different.
Well, not all math teachers.
What am I doing?
Lucan, how much will you pay me to sell one of them out? Specifically, Pat.
What's your problem with me?
What?
I'll let you win.
No, don't do that, okay?
Don't be like my. Don't be a-
Don't be
Well,
like that.
Well, Pat is the big-haired woman.
Riker has an afro and is in a dress.
I'm already
Yeah.
dead. I'm already dead, Pat.
Oh.
Yeah.
I could have changed my disguise, Pat.
Shoot.
-7.
Well, let's go. I'm not. The secret.
My teacher, the best teacher, bro. I miss nap time. Is that just me? I wish we had like
No,
a
dog.
designated.
That needs to come back.
Yeah, because when you're young and full of energy, that's when they give you nap time. You know, when you don't need nap time.
Bro, I'll be feeling more suicidal than an absolute rapper after he just overdose. I need that lappy time, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Pat's got a good point there. Where teachers like midway through, okay, guys, I've got a fantastic idea. So let's make them all incredibly stressed out. Let's give them a lot of homework. Now let's also deprive them of imaginatory things, so they will also become the most uncreative, absolute mongrels known to man. Sounds fantastic.
Yeah, guys, why do you think Da Vinci's dead, huh? 'Cause no one's creative anymore.
We should just like start a war to make people do something.
Well, what is happening?
What do you mean, what is happening?
I'm not about to lie. Teachers, they can be so hit or miss. They can literally make your life living hell, or they can make your life absolutely splendid like a Princess Adventure Time, not gonna lie.
That is true. Like, I always look forward to Mr. McNulty's class. And then you got your like crackhead teachers, like our Miss teacher that will not be named, because I only want to give compliments to the ones. I'll name the ones I give
What
compliments.
subject?
Well,
What
there's
subject?
I can't give that away because there's not too many in this subject.
Oh, I know what subject you're talking about then.
Um. She's funny? She scares me, I think.
Interesting.
She's an interesting teacher.
Like, how interesting we talking here?
Like, an interesting, just life, basically.
Quickly, he doesn't know how to play the game. Abuse him. No.
I love how the first person I get is Riker directly when he says that.
I watched Riker die right from my eyes. The bullet was inches away from my face.
Did you just get a
Wow.
clat?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's good.
No, I'm just joking. I just gotta wait a sec.
Ah, there's a bug on my neck.
What kind of bug?
Like, I've had some really good ones over there. I'm not.
All right, let me talk about an ass teacher. All right, Mrs. Sturley. Now,
Oh! I didn't have her and I hated her.
yeah. So basically, this one time in her class, like, I can deal with most of her crap that's going on. But one day, it was just like, oh, we were gonna do an assignment. We need scissors. There's a scissor box. All right, guys, go get your fucking scissors. Now, me and this one girl, being the absolute dumbasses that we were running towards the scissors. We're intending to put our hands in the scissor box as hard as we can. 'Cause
What?
one,
Oh yeah. Gotta get your hands
so
in
we
them.
do. So we do. And of course, by the grace of the Lord, I did not get cut. But she did. No, she starts crying. I was like, "Oh, are you okay?" Teacher just cranks her neck. I heard like the snap of her neck.
Bro, it's like a horrible. Bro, it's a horrible thing going.
Like the bones
She's so-
snapping as she's displacing her neck.
Bro, sounding
Yes.
like 48 door.
Yes. So she comes like, getting like, I don't know, sprint walking towards us. And then she just like grabs me my wrist and says, "All right, you're going down to the office." I'm like, "Huh? What do I do?" And she said, "You know exactly what you did." I'm like, "Huh?" And so I went down to the office. She was like pissed. She almost cussed me out, I'm pretty sure. And then I was talking to the principal, and he was like, "Did you do it?" Oh my goodness, I'm so loud. And I was like, "No, of course not. Of course I didn't do it." And he was like, "Are you sure? Because the teacher says otherwise." I'm like, "All right, get the girl to come down here, man. She'll tell you the truth." So she does. She comes down here and says, "Oh, it was just a mistake."
Yeah, there's
And-
nobody around.
And then it was just like, oh. So he calls the teacher to come down. And she's like, "No, I saw him do it." And then like the girl just says, but he didn't. But he did. And like
What?
me and the girl looking at each other like, what do you mean?
What?
Bro, you see that old couple go into
No.
the bank? All of them steal thousands of dollars, bro. Credit card. The old lady's like, "What's a credit card?" That's the. So continue the story, please. This is very enticing.
So, of course, our day goes about as it does. The teacher, of course, is eyeing me the rest of the day. Literally, when she's dropping everyone off at like gym, because everyone loves gym, she freaking eyeballs me. She eyeballs me, just like, I know what you did. I'm like, no, you don't. You don't know shit. And she's just like, and then like I just smile at her and leave.
Bro's got that W Riz. I'm not alive.
Dang.
I just
The U.S. when it smells oil.
Yo,
I'm going to find you.
I'm not gonna lie. The teachers, we've all had that one teacher that just didn't know what they were doing there, and I'm not sure how they're still in payroll after some of the questionable decisions they did. Now, this isn't really about a teacher, but it's more about my bus driver. Now, my bus driver is Miss Hart, but she doesn't have a heart for children. She should literally be in a psychic ward for how crazy this lady is. This lady. So basically, one day, I was being like 12 at the time, and I was really scared about being on the bus, and we're all chilling. And my first day on the bus, I'm sitting there. She's like, "Hi, welcome to the bus." I'm like, "Oh, this lady's nice." Now, being a naive 12-year-old, I was like, "This is my first day. I should have questioned something." Now, do you know what happened? So I stick my leg out so slightly.
Negative 55.
Do you want to know what? I literally sticked out my leg because my leg was cramping. And do you know what happened? She full on slammed on the brakes and screamed at me. She was like,
"Feet out the aisle."
Nobody wants
This
to
is
see your grippers.
"This is like the most disrespectful behavior I've seen in my 17 years of doing bus driving." I'm like, "Bro, you've been doing this for 17 years? Please, do you have a high school diploma?"
It's the most disrespectful thing you've seen in your 17 years. Was
That-
opening the foot out the aisle. You should be
Was like,
thankful.
Hopping
You
out
should be
the
very thankful.
need to seek help, lady.
Guys, you so pro game boy was less loud.
And then I also her to add on to her level of just absolute monkey tickling. Do you know what she did?
What'd you do?
So she was like,
Are you just racing around collecting diamonds?
I really so I saw that.
Connor, why?
Where'd he go?
He's got to make up for his negative 55.
Okay, anyways, teachers
Where'd he go?
suck. Teachers suck a lot.
I-
hate a lot of teachers. There's lots of teachers I hate, okay?
I remember a story from the first time I've ever went, I hate this teacher. I wish nothing upon her. Or nothing good upon her. It was whatever our HEA teacher was, Riker. She,
What grade?
seventh.
Oh, I know her. I know what you're talking
Ooh.
about.
I don't care if you say her name. She was a terrible teacher and sucked at her job.
I had her for English too.
Yeah, what was her name?
This is Deering.
Oh my
Thank
god!
you, I
Earring?
couldn't remember her. Okay, so she had us make origami. She just went off and it was like, okay, everybody, make origami. That's what you're doing today. Bring it up to me, tell me what it is, and put it in the basket. You'll get a grade. So I take a bit of time trying to figure out what I want to make. So I find a heart, and I was like, oh, this is cool. I'll make a heart. I bring it up there. She goes, what is this? And I say, it's an origami heart. And she said, no. it was like, what do you mean? It's just like, just put it in the basket. Like, how can you not wish angry thoughts upon that teacher?
Okay, well, my first I hate the teacher moment was in 5th grade, and I think you already know this story.
Oh, she
But I get
sucks.
okay. So, anyways, this isn't my 5th grade teacher's classroom. I'm in a different classroom. Okay, so I barely know this teacher, and I don't really like being in this classroom. Okay, and then so I get paired for group projecting with 2 girls. Okay. And they're not being nice to me. They're not even letting me in on the project, okay?
Teacher, they're not
And
being
so,
very nice.
anyways, I'm getting tired of this, okay? And so, I get called on to answer a question, and I don't know what to say. And then I just snap and just tell her that I was being bullied, and she goes and tells me to go out into the hall because I was being bullied. And then and then later, okay, after class is almost done, she comes out there and tells me that it was okay if I was getting bullied, but I needed to answer the question and not tell her at that time.
What?
Yeah, thank you. I'll answer the question I wasn't allowed to see because these two wouldn't include me.
That's because you probably looked like a skinwalker. I'm kidding. No, you looked fine because that was back when looks
Miss,
didn't matter.
Miss Deering.
Miss
I've got a
Deering
story about Miss Deering.
sucks.
Miss Deering. You know what she did? She was kind of that teacher that made everybody want to feel bad for her, but nobody did because everybody hated her.
Yeah.
And so we sitting there like, well,
There's
Jake,
a
like
Jake.
I've had a really hard day today, guys. So we're gonna do this 5 favorites essay, and we're like, wow, that's fantastic. Go kill yourself. I'm not even joking. Nick was an absolute. I've never seen Nick be a bigger menace in a class except for that one.
which
That
Nick?
class. Nick Anderson.
I hate him.
You know Nick. I don't got nothing against him. I really don't.
Spoiled brat.
I do have to admit he can be kind of rude sometimes for no reason at all.
He acts
But
like
I
he's
don't-
superior. Have you ever seen how he's interacted with like staff?
Okay, he does have kind of a god complex. I'm not gonna lie.
Sounds more
You little-
complicated than Harry Potter.
You
But also, like, the thing with him is that he just doesn't know that. Like, one time I remember he was like, Connor, I probably got a higher reading score than you did. And I was like, okay, what was your reading score? And I got a higher one than he did. And he's like, well, you must have done something wrong. I mean, he's like, well, I guess I was having an off day. I was like, didn't you just brag about how you're having a good day?
No, he makes no sense. He sucks. I'm gonna change.
And like, also, like, I remember one time, me and Riker were sitting there, and we're actually Luke, and I think you were there in the room, but we were all relaxing, sitting down, and it was in Miss Neal's science class. Now, I personally don't have that class, but
Oh, I was so close.
I forgot what Riker did, but he full on snitched on Riker.
I
Like,
hate
snitched.
him.
Like-
Was he even in our freaking science class, or was he only there because?
No, he was not. He was like the class before
And like
us.
the only person he'll talk to like nicely is Alex. And
No, he
he's
doesn't
the only-
talk nicely unless you're meaning. I feel you're excluding hand touching and talking.
And ball tapping.
Yeah.
like the thing is, like I remember one time as well, like he was like, "Hi, Connor, you suck at math." I'm like, "Yeah, I do. You got a problem with that?" He's like, "Yeah, I do, Connor. You should be better at math." And I'm like, "Well, you should be better at making friends."
Oh, I had him go
Valid.
to my 8th grade science
And then the same thing goes. It's like, well, Connor, I probably got so Connor. Why don't you do it in all honesty? It's like, because I don't want to. It's like, well, aren't you gonna use some of that on your resume? I'm like, dude, nobody's gonna care in the real world. My uncle makes a bunch of money, and he has a job where he literally makes hundreds of thousands of dollars. And do you know what he does? He says one of the biggest thing that people can have to get like a good interview is to not be a douchebag. Because you can be great, you can be the smartest person in the world, but nobody will work with you because you're a douchebag.
Yeah.
And he says he actually knew a guy who's even smarter than his Uncle Evan. He had one of the highest SAT scores in history because he worked at a big company firm. And the dude got fired within literally 2 months of being there because he got 28 office complaints in his first 4 days. And in grand total, by the end of his career, he had 126 office complaints in 2 months. 126. Like,
Just
first of all-
unloaded on him.
That's an astronomical amount of douchebagginess. Like, bro's IQ score ain't even counting up to his douchebag levelness. And
I
it's
have-
just sad to see. And it's the biggest problem is that the parents let them do it. Now you can blame a lot of it on the kid, but you gotta blame most of it on the parents. You shouldn't let your kid act that way. You should
Yeah.
be with dignity and respect.
Yeah. I have a teacher story about a great teacher. If we want to change it from teachers'
Passion.
stories that we want to
Yeah,
kill.
but it's easy to name a bunch of great teachers.
Well, I have a specific one where it was the first teacher I actually like fully respected and like actually made eye contact with while he was teaching. And his name is the great Mr. Wargle.
Oh, Mr. Wargle was amazing, dude.
I did not respect Mr. Wargle at all. I'm sorry.
Why not?
His main problem was, I don't know, he had some problem with me. I think it's because, I'm not gonna lie, 7th grade, if there was, I'm a pretty nice teacher. I'm actually very respectful to teachers. I know how hard they work because my mom is personally a teacher. She's a kindergarten teacher. My grandma was a teacher. My great-grandpa was a teacher. I've got a lot of respect for a lot. I don't know. Something awoke inside of me that year. I did so much stuff in that class. And when I mean a lot, I did a lot. Like one time, we're all sitting around and she moved, and it got so bad to the point where she sat me in the front of the room. There was like 5 desks she has in the front of the room. I was in the tippy top level.
She?
She put me the one in front of the projector. So
She?
the first 5 minutes of class, she's explaining what's going to go on for the day,
She?
right?
Mr. Wargle
Oh,
is a he.
I know, but I'll get to the point where it goes to Mr. Wargle. But let me just go on about this.
Wait, who's the she?
The she is Miss Saunders.
Oh.
I thought you were talking about Mr. Wargle.
No.
Dude.
And so I'm sitting there, and Miss Saunders is like, well, I gotta leave the room for a couple minutes. Can I please go, I'll be right back, guys. Mr. Wargle's gonna take over because it was Mr. Wargle's break hour.
Yeah.
And he comes in, and he's sitting there. And he's walking around, and he starts pulling up to me. I was like, this man is looking, and I look behind me, and he looks like he gives me this stare. And I'm like, nah, he's up to something. So I keep my headphones in, but I turn off my music. And do you know what happens, bro?
What?
He whips out my headphones, and I said, that was a mistake. He's like, what do you mean that was a mistake? I said, first of all, I wasn't listening to any music. And everyone's looking at him like, this guy really wasn't listening to music. He's like, turn on your volume then. And so I blasted at full volume, and there was no music playing, so nothing happened. He was like, you really just had your earbuds in? I was like, yep. He's like, why did you have your earbuds in? I was like, I like the feel of them. And so he's like,
Just grooved into my ears, man.
he's like I literally said, and then I started making up these false doctors. Like, you know that 75 minutes a day can give you better ear structure? And so he's looking like, this dude did not just say this to me. And I was sitting there, and at this point I was kind of angry because he almost broke off the bit of my headphones because I had these old, like, you know those old Apple headphones, those white ones that have the cord in them before they plugged into the phone.
Yeah.
I was using an old janky pair of them, where basically you kind of have to fidget with it to get the sound to work. And so I'm like, you almost just broke my headphones. I suggest you don't do that again. He's like, I suggest you don't talk to me like that way. I was like, I suggest you don't try to break my headphones again. And he's like, ugh, and just walks away. And of course, the next day I come back into school, and I was like, and I go into Miss Saunders' house. She's like, gets a call, and she's like, yeah, interesting. I see. Connor, you gotta go down the office. I'm like, okay. I was like, what did I do this time? What kind of atrocities did I do? And so, Mr. Purcell's looking at me. He just like, you know those things where he like folds his arms and he just like looks at you. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. So, I heard you were very disrespectful and rude with Mr. Warble yesterday. I'm like, he physically took my earbuds out of my computer and almost snapped it off. And I'm like, he's like, well, you were very rude to him, weren't you? And I'm like, yes, I was. Because he tried to take it out of my headphones. And so he's like, well, that doesn't give me an excuse to, like, be rude to him. I'm like, I think it does.
Treat people how you want to be treated.
That's what I said to him. I said it's the golden rule. I said the golden rule, and he just looks at me with such a sharp, intense pain in his eyes. The look of a man who's truly been bested by a 12-year-old child. And
do it.
I said, you either, and I shouldn't have said this, and ended up getting me more in trouble. But I said to him, you either get mad at me and do something about it, or else I'm going to get up and leave at this direct moment.
Oh, dude.
And he was like, you wouldn't even dare. And I literally got up and exited the room.
Yes, he would do.
And so he comes out, what are you doing, young man? And I'm like, I'm doing exactly what I told you I'd do. I'm a man of my word. My dad told me to never lie.
Well,
And the thing was, I saw a shred of respect, like, kind of come across his face. He's like, okay, he shouldn't have been as rude as he was, but I do have to give him some props. So of course, he brings it back, and it was like, what you did there was very, very disrespectful and rude. But I'm gonna give you a pass on this one because of my respect for you. Now, I will ask again. I will talk to Mr. Worgle about not taking out kids' headphones. And I will also consult that you please don't do this again to another teacher. I'm like, I said, deal. He doesn't pull my headphones. I don't talk crap to him. So I get up, I leave the room, I shake his hand, and that was basically it. That was my story of Mr. Worgle being an absolute non-Giga Chad. And also for the rest of the school year and the rest of the time I was at the middle school, every time he'd look at me with such intensity in his eyes that he looked like he wanted to end my life and absolutely manhandle me.
Answer the question, Connor. Answer the question.
What question?
Guys, has anyone noticed that the golden rule always applies unless it's to a teacher or an adult?
have you ever realized that seniority is a thing?
I don't know what that is.
Okay, let's culture Pat real quick. Welcome back to Culturing Pat.
Did a donkey thing just go up to you and stare at you?
Yes.
That boy bad news, he a menace to society.
Let's talk about another horrible teacher. Anyway, Miss, what was the 7th grade teacher again?
Deering or whatever?
No,
Miss-
no, one.
Hey, but
Wargle?
I'm a
Boyer. Yeah, Mr. Boyer.
Oh, Boyer.
Boyer was amazing.
No, I hated it.
What?
I never heard anything bad about Mr. Boyer up until this point, I guess.
He
Oh, yeah,
does
that's
work
good.
Maybe
so
no,
slow.
okay, maybe not himself, but his assistant teacher.
Who was that?
Hey. One of the aides, but for some reason, all special ed aides,
I didn't even
despise
do
me.
anything.
like they all despise me.
Did
and I don't know
Did
why.
you just witness Riker's death?
I witnessed 2 deaths and I was standing next to in a row.
Riker killed me. He took a thing, and I walked over to where he was, and Connor was like, "Ah, yes, he did it."
I'm pulling out the blick.
I actually got.
I don't know, Mr. Boyer's assistant, the one that what was it? She was a she, and she was like a math teacher also, but like
Was it the one with
Mrs.
the
Green?
blonde hair,
No.
and glasses, blonde hair and glasses.
ponytail, glasses? She always was
Old
carrying like
or young?
clipboard.
Was it the one who
Young?
always was with Zoe?
Yes.
Ah.
I think so.
I'm not what you guys are talking about.
I didn't. I hated her, bro. One time so I was in Mrs. Saunders' class. She came into the class too. I had my mask down because it broke Miss Saunders at that moment, and she just let me have it down. So she comes in, she sees my mask, and she's like, "Pull that up right now." And Miss Saunders, having someone to pack her up finally without me abusing her, obviously like tries to back her up, like, put your mask back on.
One
so
of you
I'm
must
like-
be him.
And so like, I'm just saying, but why? And she was like saying, "Oh, it's so horrible. Like I went through COVID. It was so horrible." And I'm like, "But you're still here. But you're alive, aren't you? Or am I looking at a ghost?"
I hit the wrong one. Wait.
Lucan, are you still looking for the sushi? Cause I changed clothes a long time ago, buddy.
I'm not looking for sushi. I'm looking for murder. Oh,
Ow! I lied, I had the smoke bomb.
I shall kill anybody who comes by me. I'm going for a record of negative points.
No. Oh
Okay.
my god.
Negative
yeah.
55.
Yeah, she basically would just come into the classroom and she'd be like, "Pull your mask back up. COVID was so horrible. It's gonna kill everyone in this school if you don't put your mask up." I'm like,
You
"Did
will
have COVID?"
single-handedly
Yeah.
kill everybody.
And then she's just saying, "I had COVID. It was so horrible. I hated it." And I'm like, "But you're still alive. It's kind of, I guess, something
Girl, I
that's
had it
horrible,
3
but
times.
live
I am now immune to just diseases in general.
Lucan, sorry, my bad.
Yeah?
Lucan, I got COVID. It wasn't that bad.
No, it's
Like-
not. It's literally not.
Yeah.
First time was
I've had-
terrible. Second
had a lo-
time, eh. The third time, it was like a joke. This
Alright,
is what everybody's
First
worried
time I-
about.
The first
Yeah.
time I had it, I didn't even know I had it. Stupid
Connor? I hate you. I didn't take the thing. It was Connor.
Wait, what?
Connor
That
took
makes
the
sense,
gem.
though.
It wasn't me. Did you know I actually got in trouble with the principal once in middle school?
Wow.
I've been to the principal's office.
I've gone to him in plenty of times.
What'd you go
But
for,
first-
Pat?
Stuff.
Okay. It was because I skipped class. I skipped
Oh, yeah,
French
that's why.
class. I just didn't want to go that day. It was too cold outside, and I got dropped off at the middle school. And it was like, nah. it's like really windy and cold, and it's just straight up was like, nah, I'm going to a different class. I'm going to Mr. Forrester's class to watch a movie.
So
And then
easy.
of course I had to get tattled on by Miss Neal.
Miss. Wait, so what did Miss Neal do?
She ratted me out because I wasn't at French class. And then they're like, well, you know, this is technically skipping class. And I was like, oh no, I didn't think of it that way, which was the most bullcrap thing I could think of. He was like, oh, okay, well then, I'm just gonna have you stay here and do work until French would be over. I was like, okay. And then I
What
just
work?
chilled in the office. None. I didn't do work. I looked like I was doing work, but I was doing everything but work. Riker, if you get me killed. Oh no, it's gone. We're good.
Connor just got violated.
Okay, somebody just took that right there. Got it, y'all.
Yoink.
Yes.
No, that wasn't even me. Like I took it. I just
Who
walked
set off
over,
the trap? Set off the trap.
I set off a trap.
and I placed the trap.
That's it. I'm going ham.
You're gonna lose points.
I don't care. I'm playing a game where I shoot people who are clay figures. I don't really care.
It's the chef. It's the chef. Shoot the chef. See you. Yes.
Patrick, I haven't given you away. Why? You're just assault ball today, aren't you?
Also,
No, I was thinking about Riker out because he could beat me in real life.
Patrick,
Even though Riker's been
Patrick, I can beat you in
Yes.
real life. You're not a
Yeah,
challenge.
it's not as bad as Riker can.
Have you
Hey,
have you seen how many times I've beat my brother with stuff? I can use anything as a weapon. I have made him bleed with a telescope. With a
Bro is a-
telescope.
bro is like,
That's easy, but you freaking grab the telescope, you start beating him with it.
One swing and he was bleeding.
Has Connor given up?
no, I'm just
No.
keeping shit. Damn.
He beat my score somehow. No.
Negative 82 that round.
Fantastic.
I don't know. I've only ever gotten in trouble with like principals twice ever. Both were really stupid.
Can I hear what you got in trouble for?
Oh yeah. Okay.
He
You
said.
ready? Are you ready for this? Because this is the stupidest reason ever in the history of man. Okay, you ready? I got in trouble because an autistic kid threatened to kill me with a pencil.
What?
Of course.
I'm like-
Why would the kid not be at fault? But me, of course.
Ah,
not?
was anybody in my science class when the big
I'm
guy with autism in
Alex?
7th grade? Yeah, I just didn't want to say his name. I wasn't even gonna collect it. He flipped the desk onto Kylie.
Huh?
Yeah, do you remember? I'm also not gonna name this person because I am scared.
They're not finding. They're
What do
not finding out anything. Just
Okay,
do it, I'll protect
Nick.
you.
Do you remember Nick in 5th grade? Pat remembers
Nick
Nick.
Anderson?
No,
Nick
Anderson.
Nick Ashlab.
I don't
know. That was scary. Remember when the kids got stuck in the back room because the dude was flipping out?
Yeah, remember when I sat in front of him?
I sat right next to him.
Oh, that's worse. No,
That was
because
the
you
most
were
threatening
you
thing in
were
my life.
you were in desk flipping range, though you were in choke on your food from a throat punch range. He did that to Alex, or no, what Peyton Shornick. he was eating food and Nick punched him in the throat and he just started
Oh.
choking. He also threw
How is this man like?
magnets. I don't know.
I don't think he's still in school. Is he?
No, he is.
How?
He's at the high school.
Yes.
Because it's not his fault, of course. Everyone knows that. Even though he's dangerous and might kill someone one day, he's not dangerous at all.
Wait, so what does he look like?
We must just celebrate our differences. even
Riker,
if they kill
somebody
us,
got
even
in
if
front
they
of
kill
you
us.
at the end. Otherwise, I would have shot you.
What is he? Wait, he goes to the high school now?
Yeah.
Nope, that was me.
Oh, my
I've
bad.
never heard or seen.
Because he stopped having these fits, Gerald.
I
Mhm,
think
Oh wait, I do remember. Is it the Nick from 5th grade?
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
That
I like that you can hear the honking, the honk, 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 honk.
one.
Also,
He was pretty much a nut job.
so how long
Yeah.
does I just getting question here? How long does the podcast go on for?
Probably not even 40 minutes yet.
No,
I
how long
lied,
does it go?
40 minutes. We usually do like
I gotta-
around an hour.
Okay, I gotta leave at like 9. That sound good?
Okay, yeah, that works. Me and Riker can
Because no,
wrap up
like
stuff.
the last I want to do something.
okay, but anyways, so yeah, I sat next to him, and that was the most frightening thing, because like he would do stuff beforehand, and I was so frightened of him because one day he started rapidly tapping his desk, and that was literally the most frightening thing of his life. I thought I was gonna die
Oh,
because I was just that scrawny. That kid could totally kill me if he wanted to, could very well, and I knew he very could do it, and he also probably would.
you weren't behind him when he started slamming or like he was punching the freaking cupboard. He was just punching it over and over again. And I didn't do anything.
Didn't he punch Peyton in the throat?
I said
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
You
he
said
just said
something
that.
about Alex.
No, I said
No, he corrected himself.
yeah. I accidentally said Alex. I Yeah,
you know what's
no.
kind of crazy, bro?
What?
Is like the audacity of these teachers. One time, I was like sitting down. I think it was Miss Lippa. Yeah, it was Miss Lippa. It happened like this week actually. We're sitting down, and everyone's talking about it. And I was sitting down. I was like, Miss Lippa, is there a dress code at the school? And she's like, well, there is, but nobody really enforces it.
Yeah.
And or was that just
And-
like a
and-
G move? Or it wasn't really
Are
a
we
G
talking-
move. But
Are we
just
talking
like
about the
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Like, oh sure, someone can look good, but like, no offense, you should have some self dignity here.
yeah.
Yes. Agreed.
Holy
Like,
crap.
Like, I'd rather you look good and like maybe not show it off every single day.
Present yourself. Like, clean yourself up.
Like, seeing you dressed like a prostitute every day is not really making me like you at all. Because
No.
this shows that you're here and like not really self dignifying, to be honest.
Okana doesn't like me.
No, you wear nurse scrubs. That's different.
Yes.
Nah, bro, you look fine.
Fine wine.
Fine as wine. Grapes sweeter than the sweet nectar of nature.
Yeah, but anyways, I thought I was gonna die in 5th grade, man.
Yeah. You were a small dude. You are a small dude.
Also, I think I would cut out how that moment when he flipped off right next to me. I think that would cut out somehow because now special ed aides don't like me.
Hmm.
Or special kids, they don't like me either.
Really, anyone with brain damage.
That's
Well,
saying something. That's saying something. It's saying something, guys.
No.
Oh man, what was I gonna say? I don't remember. Come back to
Wait.
me.
Game modes in this game.
There is another one, but it sucks. You can
What is it?
you can pay for
You
it's
go
just
around
you go
collecting
around collecting fruits, and the first one to collect them all wins. But you can kill each
sounds-
other instead of just one dude.
But with a stick, you have to be really close.
That sounds terrible. I'm not gonna lie. I remember one time, Miss Deering, she's sitting there and she's like, "Well, guys, I've had a really rough day, but I think today's the perfect day to have the test because I just need a day off." I'm like, first of all, why would you tell us that? Second of all, nobody cares. And also,
What?
I look at her, and everyone's looking at her. It's like, why you guys all looking at me like that? And I'm like, you just, and I said this to her. I said, no offense, Miss Deering. If you're saying you're having a bad day, then decide that today is the day for the test because you don't want to do something. You might not want to publicly announce that. And she looks at me like, how dare you? And so, of course, she gets the principal, and she gets upset with me. And I told her what the principal said, and she ended up getting in trouble. She got like a teacher write up to her, like bad, like really bad. And then
Didn't she quit?
no, I think
No,
she's
she moved.
She
and
moved.
then also like and then one day I was leaving class and she was like, Connor, it was about the thing I did. It was like 2 weeks later. She was like, Connor, the thing you did the other day has been stressing me out, and I'm super stressed now because I got written up. All your fault. And I want to let you know that I don't care.
I want to personally know. I want you to personally know how much I care about your life. Oh, look at that. It's 0.
Bro's a zero, not a hero.
I'm going to lose it if someone says that again.
I know. I've been hearing that everyone say that. That's annoying. But so I'm like,
But
Miss
so
Deering. I said this as kindly as I could to her. I was like, Miss Deering, no offense. You saying that to me just makes me like not like you as a teacher and not like you as a person. I said that you being the adult in this situation, you should have learned that you should grow up and really just realize that you shouldn't be yelling at a literal 13-year-old child and because he told you to do your job right. Because you're literally tutoring my future, and that I feel like that's important, and that I feel like that I should not have talked to her that way and gotten you in trouble because you were too lazy and didn't want to do your job, and that I'm in the wrong, and that you feel like it's an excuse to bash a 13-year-old kid who you're also teaching. And then she kind of stood there. She's like, "Have a nice day, Connor," and left. She didn't say anything else. And
Have a nice day.
I felt bad. I didn't feel bad for her after this, but she started crying.
Oh, I don't think I've ever made a teacher cry.
Like no, I was like, in any other way, I would have felt bad, but I didn't because she kind of does that. Like mid class, I remember another time, a breakdown in the corner, started weeping. She was like, "Class."
She a cartoon character?
It's so funny. Everyone's looking at her like, "Nah, bro, I'm leaving."
Okay,
about-
wait.
A fun teacher that doesn't really have any rules, but probably should be a little
Wait.
strict.
I
Miss
want
Cadbury.
to say something.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say something.
Miss Ketvertis, I felt bad for because people took advantage of her kindness because she was too nice.
I got something, guys. So do you guys know Mrs. Keevitt? Do you guys have
Yeah.
Mrs. Keevitt actually?
We do not
No,
have
I
her.
don't. I've only heard bad things about her though.
Yeah, okay. So you guys know I am an outstanding student.
Yes.
In academically, of course.
What's your grade at?
Okay. my grades are mostly A's, okay? But and I love science. Science is like one of my favorites.
Hey Pat, I thought you said you were bad at school.
No.
No, so you're really good at school. That's great. I'm happy. For
Okay, yeah, I know, it's great, okay? And I've never gotten anything lower than like a B plus maybe? I'm pretty sure I never got anything lower than that.
you. That's
But
impressive.
anyways, the market period ends, and in Mrs. Kiwa's class, I have a C plus. Okay?
Rip.
And I'm so confused. I hate Mrs. Kiwa, by the way.
Hey,
I'm
yo,
so, I'm so confused why I have such a bad grade in her class. And
Are
I
you
don't know
just
why.
shooting random people?
Yes.
Okay, because I was gonna say all I did was I've just run around so far.
Yeah, but anyways, a C plus. Man. I don't know. I think we'll be getting my first like bad grade in quotations. To say something about the teacher, not me. Well, I guess it might be me, but I don't think it is.
I had a
what, like,
C in
what?
French for some dumb reason, even though it was she changed the grades when she wasn't supposed to.
Basically, she accused me of cheating, and so I lost points off a lot of homework.
Where's her proof?
Wait. She accused you of cheating?
Yes, I don't cheat, because it's too time consuming, and I don't have friends to cheat off of.
Pat, so so what did she say, dude? Give me like a rundown of what she said.
Okay. So we're doing this homework that involves math, which sucks because I'm already in honors geometry, and that's enough for me. That's enough math for me. Okay?
You
So-
taking on Pat?
No, not honors English. It's honors English.
No one wants
sucks.
to do honors English.
Well, you're taking honors science and you're taking honors
Geometry,
but
and
you're
then
taking
taking civics. I don't know how I got in civics, but anyways, so okay, so she's checking all the homework, okay? And there are certain like theorems, ish, like equations that we're supposed to follow, and so I, being a little dumb, accidentally combined two of them into one theorem, okay? And so basically, two theorems I mixed up were like the I'm not gonna. That's too long. But anyway, I mix up two of them, and I only mix up. So you know how like I have the equal sign, right? And then there's something on the other side of the equal sign. So I
Yep.
combined two of those like that on accident. I solved the problem, but of course I get it wrong. Okay, but she's checking for completion, and then she looks at it, and she goes, "Are you just putting down random answers?" I'm like, "No, I just forgot the thing." And then she's like, "Well, maybe you should look back." And I'm like, okay. And then she's like, I gotta take points off for cheating. I'm like, what? But where exactly did you get that I was cheating on this?
That's dumb.
Wait, Connor, have you ever been accused of cheating?
yes, one time.
I have never actually, because I don't cheat.
I don't cheat either, but I got accused of it anyways.
Joking with Miss Saunders, I have like a perfect track record of being nice to teachers. Like I've been with teachers, and so basically, it was also for a really dumb reason. Like it wasn't even for something big. So it was in the let's see what it was actually this year.
Ooh.
And this girl in my class. So I'm sitting next to her, and she's all right at math, but like I'd say I'm better at her at math. I was currently at the time I was holding an A in the class, and I'm not very good at math, so that was a good thing for me. I was excited. So I'm sitting there, and I see this weird thing in the corner. And do you know when you're like tired and just kind of like look off into space?
Yeah.
She was sitting there, and she thought I was looking at her paper, and she's like, "Oh my God, Connor's looking at my paper," and I'm like, "Oh my God, this is the whole thing." So I sit there, and I'm like, "Okay." So Miss Lippa comes up to me, and she's like, "Connor, were you looking at her paper?" I'm like, first of all, I'm gonna ask you, were you looking at her paper?" And I said, no, I was not looking at her paper. Why would I? I don't need to. You know, I have a good grade in this class. I have literally no reason to cheat on her. We've been going over this for 2 weeks. I've shown multiple times that I can excel in this. And he's like, well, he's got a point. I was like, I was just staring off into space. And he's like, no. He was looking out of the peripheral vision of his eye. I'm like,
What?
did you really?
I cannot
did you-
read that good.
And I was sitting there like, did you really just say that to me, lady?
Out of the corner of my eye, I can see that the answer is x2y.
And so, do you know what I did? And I said, okay, I want you to give me a random. So I said, I can prove it. I can prove that I wasn't cheating. I says, you're gonna give me a paper, turn it down, like turn my paper over. He's like, would a cheater know how to explain every single work step he went through? So I show her the work off the top of my head, and then the girl couldn't come up with her work. And so the teacher's looking at her like, it's sus. It's a bit sus that Haley, I don't know what her name was, I forgot. She was just a forgettable human. That was an NPC in real life. And I got angry with her because why? Like, why would you accuse me of cheating? Like, why? I wasn't doing it. And now whenever she looks at me, she's like, cheater, cheater, pumpkin eater. I'm like, what are you, 5?
Does she
Bro, what
have
are these
the
app-
tism?
Oh, so she's an idiot. She talks like, oh my god, Becky, and like drinks Starbucks, like an obsessive amount of Starbucks.
Is it Olivia?
Carol?
Carol, let's go get a Starbucks.
It's not Olivia, I know, but she was also sitting at my table that time.
How's
Damn.
that smell, Riker?
So basically, the next day I go into class and she's like, the teacher comes up to me, he's like, Connor, I'm really sorry that you had to go through all that. I know that's very frustrating when someone blatantly like just tries to make something up, and I apologize. And so I'm like, thank you, Miss Lippa, but you don't have to apologize. It wasn't your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. You're just being a teacher. You have to check. I know it happens. She's like, thank you, Connor. And so of course, girl tries to start something. Like Connor, he's like, I talked to my dad last night, and he says that I'm in the wrong. I mean, you're in the wrong, and that and so Miss Lippa gets a whole thing started with this dude's dad, and so it finally comes down to the point where I'm sitting there, and he's like, "Well, Connor, I know you didn't do this," and he's like, "So the dad's satisfied now." He's like, "My daddy may not believe you, but I will never trust you again." And I'm like,
Okay.
I'm fine with. I'm
"Affect
fine with.
now?"
I'm like, you lost her daddy's approval.
I'm so scared, bro.
You ain't daddy's.
Is that a rat?
daughter. Oh my god. Lucas not trying to win. He's trying to kill people.
I wanna.
Guys, okay, I got one more story before we go, okay?
Yeah.
So, Mrs. Trudell, I'm gonna say her name, she's an amazing teacher. I love her. She has an
Mhm.
aide, okay? And the aide kind of takes over the class. And, I guess I'm fine with her, but I really wish she would just let Mrs. Trudell teach, okay? Like, because her job isn't to teach, is to help the kids in the class that need the help. So, anyways, Mrs. Trudell has this page, and you can click on days, and it'll take you to the entire agenda, what they're doing, exactly what they're doing for that day, okay? The whole thing, okay? And so I know how to access these. I can just click on it, and I can basically do all the work we're gonna do today, in like a good 5 minutes ish, you know? Because I'm pretty sure most of it's basic work. But anyways, like most time is her explaining it. But anyways, oh, I lost my train of thought. Okay, but anyways, so we're doing this, okay? and she pulls up the agenda and she's explaining what we're gonna do today, okay? And I'm not looking at the screen at all. And the aide goes, look at the screen, look at the screen, look at the screen, look at the screen, look at this, look at the screen, look. At the
You
screen,
piece of garbage!
look-
Why did you do this?
look at the screen, look at the screen, look at the screen. You know. It was so annoying. She wanted me to look at the screen. She made it very clear she wanted me to look at the screen, okay? Okay? And so I look at her with my tired, dead, cold eyes. I am clearly not in the mood for this. And I look at her, and she looks at me and goes, look at the screen. And so I look at the screen. And I have already completed half the things on there. At the time she was telling me to look at the screen. That is my story.
That
I'm
is
also pretty sure that the special community already knows of me and doesn't like me.
okay. So basically today, do you know Mr. McSweeney? He's a special ed teacher.
Yeah.
There's like 6 kids in my class who are special ed. But there's this option whenever we do tests or like do a worksheet that we can go to his room because it's like usually quieter most of the time. And sometimes I'll go there just to, like chillax because I usually just get my work done there faster because I usually get distracted. I talk to people, and if I really want to get my work done in the day, I'll go in there. And so the girl who was also angry at me for cheating apparently was like, "Oh my God, Connor, you're special ed," and I'm like, I go in there because I enjoy it in there. I go in there so I don't have to talk to people like you. Like, what do you mean people like me? I'm go, because you're a basic white bitch. I said,
I like this room because I can speak with people more intelligent than you.
it's like, I like talking to a woman who actually knows how to use her vocabulary, knows what insightful means. This absolute mongrel of the human race didn't know what insightful.
Well, she's
I also-
stupid.
I asked her what 7 plus 3 was, and she had to count it out on her fingers.
7 plus 2?
Plus 3.
7
me
plus
just-
3.
And I
Yes,
said,
let me cut that out.
And she
Okay, right?
counted. What?
Jeez, it's 11. Get it right.
She was like, and so she was like, "What do you mean? What am I doing wrong?" I'm like, "Oh, it was a really joke. You counted on your fingers, like, mean joke." And she's being dead serious. I'm like, "Are you being serious?" And I was like, "What do you got against my counter finger?" I'm like, I sat down and just like absolutely wanted to just like sit there. Has the human race really fallen this far?
I hate. I hate so many teachers. There's just some teachers who just don't like kids or teaching. And
Like, how can you teaching if they hate kids this much?
yeah, and then there's just some kids that say stuff or do stuff, and I just have to take a second and look at them and process what they just did and or said.
Yeah, no. There's some stupid people
I'm
in this
sorry,
world.
I really gotta get going, guys.
Alright.
Yeah, that's okay.
I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I do not have these, like, scenarios where I can respond to things like this.
It's not really a good thing. You don't want this to happen to you. It's not very fun most of the time. It leads to drama that you don't want.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
but
not
my
fun.
school life is so boring.
Yeah, well, so is mine.
No, you had actual stories of people.
Yeah, but those stories, like, I have a lot of them because they add up. Because people, for some reason, cannot come to terms with me, I guess. Some people just
Oh, okay.
really hate me.
I have one last story.
Alright.
All right.
Hey, Really gotta get going out.
Okay.
Okay,
It's not, it's not of a teacher,
okay,
but
wait, Connor.
it is of a special ed student.
Okay,
This one was in elementary, so you know it's gotta be good.
Okay, well, hey, alright, guys, but I really
yeah,
gotta
wait, Connor,
Alright.
before you go, who won? Who do
Oh,
you
yeah.
think had?
I'd say, I don't know. It's kind of a tie between Pat and Riker. You both did very good jobs on this. I don't know who to pick.
All right, flip the coin.
Tiebreaker. Tiebreaker. Google tiebreaker.
Here, wait.
Okay, let's do
let
it.
me do it. So, hey Siri. Flip a coin. Wait, who's who?
I'm heads.
Okay,
Baker's
I'm
head.
tails.
Hey Siri. Flip a coin.
Flip a
Whose
coin,
heads?
master.
Whose heads?
Right.
I'm head.
Riker wins.
Okay, so right next host.
All right.
I'm glad it wasn't me.
Hey, Pat. Thanks, Pat. I mean, thanks, Lucan, for giving this opportunity. It was fun.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining us. It
Next
was
time,
very nice to have you on.
the podcast is.
What?
Next time on the name of this podcast, which I do not know.
It's Sour Patch Goose, because it was really just made for me and Pat's names together, because Sour, or Patch and Goose, because Pat's username and everything is Patch, and I'm Mr. Gooseman and everything. So it's
Brad
just the
Patch.
combination that. So we gotta
So
we gotta
you're
rebrand
So, Lucan, what's your YouTube channel's name?
Sour Patch Goose.
Oh my! I'm looking this up real quick. Let me give a quick
Do it.
look.
If it was just the three of us, I would
Sour.
suggest a round.
Patch Goose.
Wait, are we ending? Did you end the podcast yet?
I did not.
You should probably do that.
All right. Thank you everybody for joining us. Connor, amazing job hosting. Thank you very much. It was
feel like I
very
did a
nice
pretty
to have. Yeah, for sure. It was way better than any of our first times. Thank you though for this new experience. We haven't actually been able to do a full actual podcast with new people on it yet. So thank you.
Well, opportunity.
Yeah. I look forward
Yeah.
to next week where we can do this again, and also recording with you for videos on the channel.
Yeah, it sounds fun.
Yeah, thank you for everything.
Yeah, hey, thanks. Have a good night. Also, Pat, Lucan, when are you gonna upload this? I kind of want to watch it.
I will get to work uploading it tonight.
Okay, hey, thank you. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too.
Toodaloo.